was, yes. Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. So I want to ask everybody who wants to create more impact in their life. All right, awesome. And who wants to create more income in their life. All right, awesome. So as business owners, I just want to start off with saying big respect to you. I'm here to give you value. I'm here to serve you today. That's what it comes down to. And I also want to say, Rick, thank you for the opportunity for being able to speak to so many business owners going through their journey. So if we could give yourself a round of applause and Rick a round of applause. Awesome. So thank you for that. My name is Clifford Starks, former UFC fighter. For those who don't know, it's an octagon, and we fight with our fist and with our feet and with our elbows and our knees. Very, very dangerous sport. And when I got into entrepreneurship, I'm an individual who does his best to find out why things happen the way. I get really, really, really curious. And what I've noticed was most entrepreneurs don't expand to the level that they should. And I was just kind of curious because that's what I was. I was an entrepreneur. The same thing happened when I was a fighter, and the same thing happened when I was an overweight kid. I was overweight. I ended up losing the weight. And I asked myself, okay, why do most people stay in this perpetual cycle? What's going on? And so as I'm going through the journey, I actually want to ask all of you, is anyone a why person like me? Like, does anyone think like that? Okay, so we definitely have to talk. We have to talk. So you find your people by figuring out who you are, ultimately. The more you know you, the more you know your people. And as I've been going through my journey, I came to an ultimate realization of we're actually all more the same than we are different. And we're all very different than our similarities, depending on how we express it or communicate. So as I'm going through my entrepreneurial journey, I realized we communicate with ourselves. Now, if I were to say, you're not your brain, what do you hear out of it? Does anyone hear anything? You're not you? You're not your thoughts? Anything else? You're not your brain. Anything else? Okay. So I heard that from a guy, T. Harv Eker. And just so you all know, T. Harv Eker is a man who has produced multiple million-dollar earners in less than 3 years. It's very interesting to me. And that's the first person I heard that from. You're not your brain. And then I realized, have you guys ever had something that you knew and you didn't know that you knew it until you look back at it and you go, holy crap, that's because my parents instilled that into me? Has anyone had that experience? All right, awesome. Well, that was one of my experiences. My mom she learned courage and she poured it into me. She just poured a ton of courage in me. And as I went through my journey, I was willing to do things my brain didn't want me to do. Like my brain, every time I stepped inside of a cage to fight, it's yelling at me, like loudly, really, really loudly, because I'm getting ready to do something that could really, really hurt it. And I didn't know it was doing that because I had a tool that I was using. I didn't know it at the time, but I was using this specific tool to keep myself grounded in my capability. And so before I go over the tool, I want to share with you a story. In fighting in the UFC, that's like the best way that I can explain it. It's like the NFL in football. It's the top of the top of the top for the fighting world. And I made a statement to a coach of mine that I wanted to fight in the UFC in less than a year. But I didn't just outright make the statement because I need some kind of proof before I make a statement in anything. That's just the way that I run. I like to know that I can do it instead of making a statement and then going out. And so I had 3 amateur fights, and this was my 4th fight. So I'm in my 4th fight. I'm getting ready to fight a professional fight. Now, have you ever had competition that you knew was better than you? Has that ever happened to you? Well, that's what I experienced. This guy was way better than me on paper. On paper, I was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. Like I'm watching the film and I'm like, and I'll never forget, I showed it to my coach. I go, he looks like one of our guys who just beats the crap out of me on a regular basis. He's like, he doesn't look like that. Give me that phone. And he looks at it and there's silence. And I knew. And I didn't even want to ask him. I didn't want to go. But I asked, what do you think? He looks just like Jordan. Jordan was the guy who beat the crap out of him. And I was like, all right, here we go. I'm going to find out about myself. I'm going to find out something. And I'm so stubborn, it's actually kind of good for me. But I'm also very, very prepared. I always prepare myself. I always do more than I should do before I get to the thing. Because I want to look good. I like looking good. Who else likes looking good? All right. I love looking good. Here's the crazy thing. It shocked the heck out of me. When I stop caring about looking good and I focus on you guys, it actually makes everything. Who wouldn't? That is one of the biggest lessons I learned as an actor. And I also learned it as a fighter. So as a fighter, I'm like, all right, let's go out there. Let's give our very best. Let's see what happens. So I'm going out there knowing I'm getting ready to go against a buzzsaw. And a buzzsaw is someone who just can really, really put some work in. And they play my music. I didn't pick my music. They played, has anyone heard the song, All I Do Is Win, 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 No Matter What? They played that song. so I'm sitting there, all I do is win, win. And in my head, I'm thinking like, oh my goodness, people are going to think I'm so cocky. I need to win this fight. Holy crap, if I lose this fight and I came out to that song, it's the worst thing ever. So I get out there and what I thought was actually true. He was better than I was. But here's the thing. Here's the kicker. Just having belief in yourself will shock you and the people that you're going in there with. It will shock people. And so as I was going through the process, I asked myself one question. What do I have? And that's what I go in with everything. What do I have? I didn't know this at the time. Our brains are protective mechanisms. That's what they are. They're there to protect us. So whenever we take an action, if we ask the right question, we'll take the right action, or we're most likely to take the right action. And so in asking that question, I started seeing what I had instead of what I didn't. And I started wearing them out. I was getting tired. It's like, yes. Now, what was really interesting, I ended up pulling it off and winning that fight. It was really, really shocking to me. Now, here's the crazy part. I was 27 then, and I'm 44. And I didn't know it then. I was going to win the fight whether I won it or lost because of my mindset. So if you guys have pen, paper, write this down. This is the tool that continues to serve me to this day. Present or past, present, future. We have two switches that are going on in our brain at all times. And I call it, you're either in your power or you're in your pressure. When you're in your power, when you're in the past, you're learning. When you're in the present, you're in your power. And when you're in the future, you're in your excitement. When you're feeling the pressure, when you're in your past, you're in your regret. When you're in your present, you're in your force or your pressure. And when you're in the future, you're in your anxiety. So what I didn't know was it was something that I consistently did. Because I will tell you all, everything that I've ever done, I have done horrifically, like really, really badly. Rick was there when I was starting to speak. It was bad. And then there was also Gelly, and Gelly just started hammering me with the questions, and I did the best that I could to answer them. But I looked through the process and I go, I've been terrible at everything that I have ever done. I didn't even know that. I didn't know it until I look back at it and go, holy crap, I have been terrible in everything that I've ever done. From being an overweight kid, losing that was not as easy as I thought. Now it's very, very simple. To being a fighter. Becoming a fighter was not the easiest thing in the world, especially when my coach said, to be able to avoid a punch, you lean into the punch. And that is what entrepreneurship is too. In order to avoid something, you lean into. And what I noticed, as Rick was talking about, way to network with everybody, great job, by the way. But the people I connect with the most are the ones that I ask the really, really deep questions. Like that's when the connection is just, it bonds in a completely different way. So I go, oh, this is a game of nuance. This is a game of seeing those subtle shifts that change everything. Now, I'm not going to tell you to raise your hand to know if you know the nuances, because I know you all do, because you're business owners. And business owners are survivors. And I want every business owner to be a thriver as I go through this journey. Every business owner that I connect with. Because what I learned is there's a high failure rate in this game. It's super high. I was asking myself, well, why is that? Well, part of the reason is they're not in rooms like this. Kind of terrifying, if you allow it. So, get in here, bud. So what I will say, one thing, raise your hand if you can, if you're open to it. No one's open to it? Okay, I got one person raising their hand. All right. Open to raising their hand. Who's open to raising their hand? All right, okay. I'm learning too nonstop, and I got my kid. What's that? All right. And if you can, put your hand behind your back and pat yourself. Because I believe, like, one of my coaches told me, when you do a good job, you pat yourself. Well, this is what I learned. Being a coach, being a trainer, being everything that I do. When a person feels good, they do. When a person feels good, they do. I wasn't going into that buzzsaw to get beat up. That wasn't the goal. The goal was to show my best. I go, wait a minute. I think everybody wants to be their best at all times. The more people I coach, the more I realize how true that is. Now, they might not have the best habits or the best skill set. I go, everyone's doing their best at all times. And when I can see them as their best, it'll start showing up. And so my opportunity for everybody is, because I'm a fighter, so here you guys go. Think of the person you cannot stand. Think of the person who drives you nuts. Think of the person... I saw a couple of smiles, so please share those stories with me. But think of that person and give them a smile, give them a compliment, give them something give them a deep thought. Give them something. What I believe will happen is, when we look at humanity with a little more abundance, it not only shows up for that person, it shows up for us. Something that I noticed consistently. So as you're going through your process, go, okay, am I in my power, or am I? Ask yourself all that all the time. Am I in my power, or am I in my... Because you can be there in a second. I was, even while I was sitting there was some nervousness going. I'm getting ready to talk in front of all of you. I want to look good in front of all of you. And then I got to catch it doesn't ever stop for anybody, really. But when you can hear it, you can do something about it. So it's a reminder that you are all powerful human beings. And if you do want to connect, you can reach with me on Facebook. I was actually going to say MySpace. See, there's so... that is hilarious. So you can reach me on Facebook, and you can reach me on LinkedIn under Clifford Starks. And just give me a hi, because what I've learned is very interesting. Taking the time just to build a relationship with another human being is the most valuable thing that you can give. That was like shocking to me, where it's like, oh, wait, I don't have to try and sell. You have to give value. And when I give value, they see it and they want more. So there's a winner in every single one of you. And I will challenge, stretch yourself. Stretch that winner. When someone's driving you nuts, that's a good thing. That's an opportunity. I've had several opportunities in my life, and I thank them, because they make me a better version of me, so that I can stand in my power even when times aren't working out and a buzzsaw's coming. Thank you. Wow.
My space was crazy.
Wasn't it?
Come on back up here.
Oh, yes.
What I'd like to do for everybody to have a chance, if you don't mind, to ask you a few questions.
Absolutely. I am terrible at that. That's why I was like, thank you, Rick.
Anybody got a question? I can think of one.
Yeah.
Ring, what was going through your mind?
I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. And then when I touched the mat, I got this. It's so interesting, because you got to flip that switch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting that
Yeah.
you talk about flipping the switch. That's
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go get some crap kicked out.
That is a great question. A great question. I have never heard my mind scream at me so loudly before, other than fight. And what was interesting, I didn't know how to answer that at the time. I love to grow. And so I go after the big challenges. And when I go after a big challenge, there's nothing, like, it's so fulfilling. It helped my cold calling journey. Like, cold calling only took me 8 weeks, because I've been punched in the face, so I can pick up a phone. And so that's what geared me up. It's such a scary thing that when you can overcome that, it releases that brain and it goes, holy crap, this person can do anything. I have not. Is it something wrong with my pants, or? Oh, yeah.
So I've always wondered about. I wonder what goes through their mind. I trouble here.
Yeah.
Or something's gonna get. What goes through your mind on both sides?
That's a good question. So I will share. I'm going to come back to the homeless thing, because that got me thinking of pursuit of happiness. But for me, when I tap out, if I tap out, I'm coming back stronger than I ever came. Some people actually wait to tap out, and they end their career. Broken bone, hurt to a level of no repair. And that's what I love about entrepreneurship. Like, it's the same game. If you do something to no return, you can't come back from this. Is it worth it? And so there's a risk and balances that's always going on. And I'll actually share with you such a good question. I ended up hitting so I was fighting a dad, and I hit him 6 more times before the ref jumped. And I felt bad about it after because I was going so fast. The adrenaline was so ferocious that I was, ah! And the ref jumps in and all my friends are, yeah, you kicked his ass. And I felt terrible because I'm like, that's a dad. I just hit a dad 6 times, 6 more times. So I actually prepared myself with even more discipline for my next fight. Because I'm like, I don't want that to ever happen again. So going back to the past, present, future, you're always learning. And ultimately, we are fellow brothers in arms. Like this isn't for death. This is, hey, we both do the same thing. And we're going to see who comes out on top with the skill sets that they have. Now, not all of them are that way. Some of them want to see people hurt. I kind of like going against them because I like beating them up personally. But I mean, I'll be honest. But yeah, so that's risk rewards. And I wanted to bring up too. So one of my favorite movies was Pursuit of Happiness because he showed like the determination and he like for him to go into that situation. I don't know if anyone remembers, but he had the paint all over him and he had to figure something out. And like, that's life. Like you're the process. I was going to give her a high five, but she looks like she's sleeping. Respect to her because she's like, it's like she's in a room full of adults. Like that's courageous to me. That's so much courage. And so in life, I go like, I like courageous people. And I even know that I like courageous people where I'm like, oh my goodness. But to go like, crap, I'm in a situation and this is important. This isn't important. A winner knows one thing, that they're like everybody else. They got 2 arms and 2 legs just like everybody else. And the difference between the successful and the unsuccessful, and I notice it consistently, the unsuccessful is just a notice that I see. They are hating on other people. They are saying why certain people are where they're at. Like they'll literally, I remember I commented on a YouTube channel one time and I started getting attacked. And I got attacked because I wasn't Clifford Starks. And I was like, that's kind of funny. Like, yeah, Clifford wouldn't be commenting on something like this. You're not him. Which is life. People believe what they believe.
So your journey
Great question. That journey took a lifetime and I didn't even know it. So when I was an overweight kid and I lost the weight, that was my discipline. I go, oh crap, my discipline is carrying over to other arenas. What was really interesting as an entrepreneur, my discipline was working for me until it wasn't. So I ended up, non-tech guy, ended up building a website. It took me 6 months. Thought I was doing pretty good. Till a friend of mine who knows how to build a website said, Cliff, I could have done that in 2 weeks. So yeah, to answer the question, I didn't even know it. And that's why it's so important that we pour, because we don't know what we're getting. Yeah.
Can you just give us a little background on that too?
Yeah, I have done so many cool things on this journey. So I was All-American football player, fought in the UFC, academic athlete, lost over 80 pounds as an overweight kid, and Hall of Famer in MMA as well. And I bring this up to say anyone can be what they want to be. My mom was actually a hospice nurse, and I got to see people on their death. And I noticed that when people would reflect, one, they actually had time to reflect because they started slowing down. And when they slowed down, they thought about all the things that they did and what they wanted to accomplish. And my biggest thing, I'm not here to get political in any means, but living in Ahwatukee was called Ahwatukee. Like I was the only black kid. And I'm like, all right, it's time to fit in. Let's go fit in. And I'm like, oh shit, this is impossible. You can't fit into this. I love you too, baby boy. And the craziest thing.
You was the most black person when we came in here.
Yeah. Yeah. And the craziest thing that I learned was I can be in my power and support others in their power too. I go, wait a minute. We all just want to be in our power. That's ultimately what's happening. Racism is when people are no longer in their power. And so they feel they have to say something negative or say something mean. But I noticed because I had such a loving heart for people, I actually had to learn to turn my loving heart into myself because I would get attacked and people would say really, really mean things. So I learned to turn that mirror into me and just focus on building me and building me and building. And what was interesting, I had to relearn to to turn the mirror to everybody else, because even when I turned it on, like once I started achieving things, how do I put this? I felt like I had to keep that stature. Like I always had to prove, I always got to prove, I always got to prove. And I'm like, oh, there's nothing to prove. You just have to be. Nothing to prove. Oh, that was a great, okay. So there's a saying, the body keeps the score. Your body is talking to you all the time. Not that one, but the oldest one. I have an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old. I'm getting ready to fight this dangerous Russian. And I felt off, like something fell off. I'm getting ready for the fight. I'm like, why am I so, like, it's not nervousness, it's terror. So they're two different things. Terror is like, oh crap, I'm gonna die. Like, nervous is like, all right, do you got this? You sure you got this? I don't know if you got this. So it was terror. And I'm walking towards the cage and they close the cage and I realize, I'm like, I don't want to be at this point. That thing that you were talking about, yeah, priorities. My kid was my new priority. So I'm like, man, that guy really wants to do bad things to me right now. And I got to watch my kid tomorrow. That was the moment where I knew I don't belong in here. I didn't, but I almost knocked him out, which lets you, like, because I talk about mind, heart, and skill. You can have so much skill that your mind and your heart's not in it, and you can still grind it out. So that's why I support business owners in making sure they're living the life that they want to live, instead of just like, oh, I'm good at this, so I'm going to keep doing it. But yeah, that's a great I'm so heart-centered. I actually don't fight outside of the cage. But I learned something. Such a great question. The seniors really liked me when I was a freshman. And I think what they liked about me was I was okay with me, or at least okay enough. The freshmen didn't like me. It was very interesting. And so what I got to see was life's a game of positioning. And since the seniors liked me, I was always safe enough. And ultimately, you know what, I'm going to say this, it's going to sound terrible, but I'm not meaning to sound terrible. If there's like KKK members, right? I'm not like walking towards them like, I wonder why they have that burning. Like, so, and I look at that, and you can always be. Sometimes people don't even know that. I didn't have a scratch on me. Psychologically, I had a scratch on me because people would make fun of me, but I would always stay in places that were the safest places to stay. Yeah, that was way before social media. And yeah. What made me so? Yeah, thank you. What made me so nervous? So I remember there was a girl who got on YouTube, and she's like, I got 8 subscribers, yay! And then people just started ripping this girl apart. She ends up taking her own life. And people don't wake up saying, I'm going to go be mean. That's not what I think's going through their head. They're just going off of what they know to go off. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, so this is, oh, well, we're going to make fun of such and such. And they're not thinking like, wait a minute, what is making fun of this person doing? And so I ultimately, like, my goal is to be 1 billion people are loving, kind, and abundant, because we all have it in us. We just have the other qualities in us too. We're going to become what we train. I do that. Yeah, I realized at one time I thought it was a 90% internal game, to be honest. And I was like, I'm going to save the world. I'm going to save the world. And then I go, oh crap, this is 100% internal game. We're creating this game. All of us are creating the game. That's why, like, I'm very passionate about business owners, but I'm passionate about each group. I'm passionate about the top, because the top, the one who asks about the why, the ones who are doing that, they're doing the work to spread it out. Mm-hmm. So my first thought, it's my knee-jerk response, we're better than that, but I know talking to people like that doesn't work. So I don't know what it would be. What I do know, they took a Bobo doll. Do you guys know, like, that little clown doll that you can hit? And they showed to children, adults, one adult's kicking the doll and punching the doll and doing all that stuff. And then the other is being very gentle. With the kids responded. So I go, well, how do we stop this? It starts with the media, I think. We look at there's a lot of crap in the media. They don't, and I even tested something once. There was a cop helping a person in a cold front, and I shared that post out to see if it would get any traction. And so I go, okay. And I get it, because remember, our brain is our survival mechanism. Survive. So it looks for danger. Here's what's funny. When I became an entrepreneur, I didn't even realize this. I'm looking for the opportunities. I am the shiny object syndrome super person though too. Like I'm like, oh, there's an opportunity here. Oh, there's an opportunity here. And so when I look at if treating people kindly was the new norm, I believe things like that wouldn't happen. And I actually believe it's discussions like this that's going to turn it into that. Because I didn't even know that until you asked the question. And my first response was, we need to do better. But that's my mom. See, I got programming too. It's in us. Yeah, it comes down to the leader. Because what I notice, leaders make everything and everyone around or worse. It goes both. So what I noticed, the kids started being kinder to me. So even my protective mechanism was speak better, communicate better. One person called me the N-word, and the first thing I said was, well, why would you call me that? With complete curiosity and question. And they didn't even know. It was shocking because I'm like, oh crap. Because the first trigger response is, you can't call me that. Yeah. Yeah, it totally, yeah. And what you'll see, I actually would make kids jealous because growth was so, we all want to grow, everyone, because you get success when you grow. When a person, if I was a lying, sleazy scumbucket, and Rick was like, all right, we're going to introduce this freaking sleaze of a snake, and I'm coming up and everyone's booing me, well, I don't want any part of that. And so I started saying like, wait a minute, okay, if you make people better or see a better way, they'll actually start doing it. Monkey see, monkey do. And because I was kind and loving and caring to these parents, and they got to see the discipline and the winning and all that stuff, be more like Clifford. Would have never guessed that. I didn't ask to be put in that situation. Hey, can I be in a racist situation so I can grow and make everyone better there? Like, no. But yeah, it is the home, it's environment. I go, okay, how do we work this environment so that it works for them instead of against them? Because we don't even know that we're programmed by our environment. That's why I even asked the question, what do you hear when I say you're not your brain? We're not even taught that. We think we are. But when we're triggered, when life sucks, when things aren't working, when it's not fair, we think about that. I go, okay, let's flip it and say, okay, how can we show up? So I'll do my piece and just do good things where people can see me do. Just let it spread out. It's Starks Enterprises. It focus on, I say I'm not a coach, I'm a corner. And the reason I say I'm a corner, this game is not easy. Like if I told anybody, and it's not easy because it's an internal game. So if any of you had lettuce in your teeth, you wouldn't know it unless you saw a mirror or someone who could talk you through the lettuce. Some of that lettuce is really, really long. And for all of us, myself included, I'm not saying anything about anybody. But as I went through the process, because everybody calls themselves a coach, I'm a corner who's with you when the lights are on and things are nice, and when the lights go off and we're figuring it out. We're putting things. Thank you for that. Yeah, thank you, everybody. You want to wave?
Something to take back with you.
Oh, sweet.
This is from the chamber, from all of us.
Nice.
And we want to just say thank you very much for coming and speaking with us.
Yeah.
And with bringing your coach with you as well.
Thank you.
Right.
Hey, thank you, everybody, for the amazing questions, too. You guys are amazing.